32 Kenyans are among the 149 passengers who died aboard an Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 MAX that crashed shortly after taking off from Addis Ababa International Airport Sunday morning. The plane, which was heading to Nairobi, lost contact with air traffic controllers and crashed 6 minutes after takeoff from Bole International Airport, killing all the passengers, including 8 crew members. Majority of the victims were Kenyans.
The arrivals scheduled board at Terminal 1A at the JKIA, listing Ethiopian Airlines flight ET302 as cancelled, kept many relatives and friends hopeful that their loved ones would arrive on another flight. But a tweet by the Ethiopian Prime Minister expressing deep condolences to the families of those who lost their loved ones on Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 was the first indication that something had gone terribly wrong. But still, some relatives kept hope alive.
So we are just hoping she did not board the plane that crashed and hoping for the best.
Initially, information was scanty, leaving those who were at the airport to welcome their loved ones in the dark as to what exactly had happened.
We don't know what's happening actually up to now. No information being given by the airport crew. We don't know. We are actually in blues.
Isaac Lugi had arrived at the airport eager to receive his brother Derek Lugi, who lives in Canada and was coming home for a visit.
Waiting for him, was supposed to arrive by 10:15, 10:20. So up to now, there's no more information.
This little girl was here to receive her mother, who was returning home from Congo, where she had been working for a year.
Her name is Florence Wangari. She's a missionary. She was based in Congo. She was coming back home.
As news of the crash spread, relatives and friends of those who were aboard the ill-fated aircraft started arriving at the JKIA.
We shall be receiving them at Terminal 1D, and we shall be busing them to Sheraton Hotel to make sure we provide them with an environment which is conducive in this very difficult time.
0733 666 066. We kindly ask all family and friends to contact this number for further guidance related to the accident.
Relatives were transported to the 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel at the airport. In a bid to ensure privacy for families, the media was not allowed into the hotel.
The primary information, the primary source of information has to be the airline itself in consultation with the Ethiopian authorities where the incident happened. But to us, we shall update you as quickly as possible as and when we get that information.
Out of the 35 countries whose nationals were traveling on the flight, Kenya is the most affected, with 32 Kenyans losing their lives.
And so in a few hours' time, I'll be dispatching my Principal Secretary for Transport, Esther Koimet, together with the Director Air Transport, Nicholas Bondo. So they'll be arriving this evening so that we can coordinate these issues seamlessly together with our colleagues.
Operating a fleet of 108 aircraft to 125 destinations around the world, Ethiopian Airlines is one of the largest and fastest growing airlines on the continent. The Sunday morning crash, the worst in the airline's 74-year history. Attention now shifts to investigations as aviation experts try to establish what brought down the aircraft. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
Our senior investigative reporter Francis Ontomo is live for us from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and now joins us live for an update. Ontomo, word so far is that Ethiopian Airlines has grounded its 737 MAX fleet following that plane crash yesterday. What does this indicate?
Well, we are yet to get that information relayed to us officially, but here in Addis, there is almost an atmosphere of grief that has struck this particular city, and you can almost tell that all is not well, even from the streets. This is the biggest story dominating the local discussions here, local media, and also even banter in the streets. But then important at this particular juncture is a communication that hasn't been made on the cause of this particular air crash that cost over 150 lives. lives, and that is why everyone is trying to put their focus here to try and see how things will be moved forward. And because I'm holding here the permanent secretary in charge of transport here from Kenya, I'll want to give her a quick interview because she lives here. She has a meeting that they will be deliberating about this particular matter. So let me bring in Esther Koimet, the PS for Transport from Kenya. Talk to us on what to expect today. Should be a busy morning for you.
Thank you very much. First of all, as you can see, I'm here with our ambassador, Catherine Mwangi, and our director of air transport at the Ministry of Transport, Mr. Nicholas Bodo. And we are here because the president has sent us here to work with the Ethiopian authorities and to also support Kenyan families, because as you are aware, this tragedy impacted many Kenyans and Kenyan families. So we have a meeting this morning at the headquarters of Ethiopia Airlines. They have created obviously a crisis center, and that's where we are going, and from there we will know more. But ours is really just to say pole sana to everybody affected, and to also thank the Ethiopian government because they for the support they've given us so far. Last night when we arrived, we were received by the Minister for Finance, and he's the one who was telling us about the meeting this morning, and at this morning's meeting we should be able to, once we get more information, give additional information.
Part of the big question that Kenyans are waiting to hear is what are the plans to ferry the bodies back home? There is the question of DNA tests that should be conducted. Will they be conducted right here from Kenya, or what will be happening?
At this stage, as I said, we don't have full information, and because this was an Ethiopian Airlines takes the lead in terms of this kind of answering this kind of questions. But we will work with them, and we will support our Kenyan families. Yeah.
All right. Let me have a word also from the ambassador, Catherine Mwangi. Let's talk about the situation. How are you handling the situation? How are you ensuring that you're able to reach even to families that are coming to the embassy?
Well, we are very visible. We're going to set up this morning a desk inside the airport that is specifically to receive Kenyan families that will be coming into Addis. And we will also set up a help desk in this very hotel, as you've seen, is very close to the airport. And we are at hand really as a mission to support families, to assist them in whichever way they can, to process any documentation or any government requirements. So the embassy is we've shut down all other activity. We're just going to spend time dealing with families. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nairobi has said if we need additional support, they will send people here. So I just want to assure families that have been affected by this great tragedy that the mission is well set up and ready to receive them and to assist in whichever way. As the PS said, this is the first day really of any action or activity. Yesterday people were busy at the crash site. So today is our first working day, and by the time we have this first meeting, we'll have a very good idea of exactly what needs to be done, what we can do, and as the PS said, the government of Ethiopia is being extremely supportive and very helpful. So I can see that although this is tragic, it is very sad, we'll be able to process everything that we need to do in a timely manner and spare the families any further pain and inconvenience.
Thank you, Ambassador. I know you are pressed for time. I'll allow you to run into the meeting. So those are the two officials we have spoken to from the Kenyan side. That is the PS in charge of transport, Esther Koimet, and also the ambassador here, that is Catherine Mwangi, of course, giving the indication that there is a meeting that is supposed to begin right now. And of course, we dragged them to this particular interview. So they are running to that meeting to go deliberate on how they are moving forward the entire process. But important for many families is to know how the bodies will reach back home, and that is the complex process that we anticipate will be, of course, eating their heads, because at this point we understand that the bodies were scarred, some beyond recognition, and therefore it will take really some more analysis to be conducted to be able to identify which bodies are from where and who is who, because you remember there are 33 nationalities who are involved in this particular, or rather people from 33 nationalities who are in this particular accident. So 32 Kenyan bodies. We expect that we will be getting a briefing on how the process will be moved forward. But at this juncture, we are waiting to see what will be coming out of this. Aside from the Kenyan authorities, we expect that there will be another briefing also from the Ethiopian Airlines, who will be telling us on how they are moving also this particular process. There is a lot of activities going on behind me, and therefore we may want to hold it at that level so that we're able to gather as much as we can from this particular end. Back